Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about where I've been and where I'm going and break down the truth for you. We'll get to that in just a second.
With every start, we are born again. Open your heart, spend this time in your head.
Well guys, it's Monday. In a true Monday fashion, this happened this morning. Yeah, it was kind of an interesting morning. My oldest daughter and I were sitting by the fireplace and just kind of watching the snow fall. And it wasn't really even snow. It was like ice and snow and something else with the wind gusts. And it ended up being a little bit too much for one of those branches over my car, and it fell and it hit my back window and only my back window. Absolutely no structural damage to the vehicle that I can see, not even the little window wiper. Looks like it's no scratches, nothing. So that was how I started my day today. It's been a little bit interesting. I wanted to catch you guys up, for those of you who are new, about where I came from, the beginning of my channel, and where I'm going now, for those who have been with me for a while. I started a low-carb journey 4 years ago because I thought that losing weight would make me happy. And that was the only way to truly find happiness, was to lose weight. I was 275 pounds, right around there, on many different antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications. And I thought that if I could just lose weight, I'd finally be happy. I ended up, there's a whole long story, and I'm not going to go into it again, but I will link that up above. It is how I was actually taken away from my family for 3 days because a doctor didn't believe me or misunderstood the situation. So please, if you haven't seen that, go check that video out. So I'm not going to recap it here, but that kind of started me on my health journey. And I started keto and then carnivore. And I've been honestly through every iteration of both of those diets over the past 4 years. I have lost a ton of weight. I have gained back some weight. I have gained a lot of function, a lot of health benefits that I didn't even realize that I was missing. And then I got them back and was like, wow, I had no idea that I had lost those things. And for the longest time, all of my focus was truly on my food because I believed that food was everything. It was going to fix and heal absolutely any problem that I had. But the longer I was low carb, the more I heard that food fixes everything. And yet for me, it wasn't fixing everything. Then I began to get confused, discouraged, disheartened. Couldn't quite put my finger on what was wrong, but I knew I was missing something. I had to finally take a step back, kind of a diet break, if you will, where I wasn't thinking about it all the time. Granted, never went back to any of the old processed foods, the old ways of eating, but I had to step back from the macros and the high fat versus low fat and kind of really take inventory of what was going on in my life. And my family and I have kind of been talking about this recently quite a bit, and I wanted to share this with you guys. I've noticed that all of us, myself included, my family included, and honestly anybody, we get caught up in trends. And I'm not saying that keto is a trend, or that carnivore is a trend, or that trying to find health is a trend. But we have absolutely all gotten caught up in trends before in the past. We may be caught up in them now, whether it's the PSMF or it's high fat, or if it's being in ketosis, all the way to net carbs. Do you remember the cinnamon challenge that everybody was doing a couple of years ago? That's a trend. And guess what? YouTube promotes trends. That's what they do. This is the way that our entire society, our entire world operates, is what's popular, let's talk about it, and let's even, in some cases, glorify it. So I found myself doing a lot of those things. I believed what I was seeing in this community was going to be the end-all be-all to heal me and to fix me. And I learned everything that I absolutely could. I've got about 7,000 hours worth of education in a low-carb way of eating and lifestyle. I really truly believed that I could heal any ailment with my food alone. And yet when that didn't work, I began to question some things and finally was able to step back and go, okay, let's take a look at what's actually going on. I kind of developed this saying that if food wasn't the only thing to hurt you, food may not be the only thing to fix you. And this is why, for some people, they can change their diet, and that's all they truly have to change and find the healing and the results that they want. And I have to be honest with you, I wish I was that person, because I believed in it so wholeheartedly. I knew that changing my food was going to be the end-all be-all that was my magic ticket. And to a certain extent, it kind of was. I got off all of my medications. I reduced my inflammation. I got my brain function back. Everything was fantastic for a good while. Well, then things started to go downhill, even though I hadn't changed any of my food. Yes, I had done some things like move across the country, but even though they were stressful situations, I saw it as a good stress. And I didn't really understand how that could impact me in such a negative way, but it did seem to be doing that. Between weight gain, mental brain fog, and pain coming back, I had no idea what was actually going on. A little bit later down the road, I found out I in fact have Lyme disease and a bunch of co-infections that go with it. But the tricky part about that is I'm not sick enough for the CDC to recognize that I have Lyme disease, but by alternative methods, I am sick. However, insurance doesn't cover alternative methods. So in order for me to keep pursuing my health in that manner, I have to pay for everything out of pocket. And frankly, it's not possible for me to continue to do so. So I have to try to find ways of managing my symptoms and tackling this in an unconventional manner while not breaking my pocketbook. And as much as I thought that changing my food was going to fix everything, it still allowed me to contract something like Lyme disease. So there's so much more to us as humans than just our food, because outside forces can affect us in very negative ways, even when we're doing everything perfectly right. And that actually takes me to my next subject of where's my channel going now? With that in mind, that the outside forces are affecting us positively and negatively, I want us to start realizing that that's going on in more places than just our diet or even the medical industry, with all of the medications that they try to put us on to help us manage our symptoms, but never truly get down to the root cause. And the fact that it takes money to fight a lot of these things that frankly, a lot of us don't have right now. And that is due to the state of the economy. We are struggling, job losses. There's so many things that are going on. And that is really where my focus has turned to. Now, I got myself off my medications. Fantastic. I found a lot of healing. Wonderful. Started to kind of backslide, have some more issues, had to tweak, found all kinds of incredible new methods for healing and getting results that don't involve food. But there's one underlying theme between everything that I have been through, and it's that we need to be prepared. You need to be prepared for whatever may come. I truly believed food was it. I had found my magic ticket, and for the rest of my life, as long as I just eat like this, I will be fine. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And it's not the case for a lot of other people either. And now, with food prices going the way that food prices are going, the real question is, can you afford to continue doing what you're doing now? I've had a lot of carnivores reach out to me and they are crying. They are so upset because they can't afford to be carnivore anymore. And yet they're convinced that if they back away from carnivore, they're going to hurt themselves and they're going to find all of these horrible things have come back and they don't know what to do about it. And so they have this incredible stress that is now compounded on top of everything else. Well, the really cool thing about my story is I found out that carnivore doesn't really work for me. And I do better when I do add some of the veg back in and even some more of the carbs. My blood sugar seems to be more stable. My energy seems to be better. I seem to process things better. I even lose weight and my hair is getting thicker when I've added back in some carbs. By all standards, I am still low carb, no questions asked. There are a few days that I will stray and I will go above, say, 50 grams of carbs, but it's what works for my body. I actually don't do a what I eat in a video anymore because I don't want everyone to emulate me. Most people don't have Lyme disease or an H. pylori overgrowth or so many different things. And who knows what other environmental issues I could be dealing with. And it's kind of hard to pursue them all in all reality. But there is one thing that I can affect, and there is one thing that I can control. And that is doing my very best to be prepared for what may come next. I will never know what the future holds, whether it's for my health or if it's for society in general. But I can kind of guess. I can kind of look at things and go, there's a good chance that this could happen. For example, there's a good chance we could lose power. It could be for an hour because of the ice storm that just so lovingly destroyed my back window on my vehicle. Or it could be for several months from something such as an attack on our electrical grid here. Or it could be something that would last for years, as in the situation of an EMP. What can I do that I can prepare for any of those eventualities? And I have found that taking that power into my hands and preparing for those types of scenarios has actually given me more confidence in what I do have the ability to affect on a day-to-day basis. Because just altering my food wasn't enough. And it was a little distressing, to say the least. But what can I do? I can still work towards every day doing better. Whether it is buying an extra can of food and putting it on my shelf, shooting for 5 cans a week of extra food that you don't touch, that's there just in case, or if it is getting a battery backup system, saving for that, applying for that, and getting it set up in my house so that if I do lose power, I'm going to be able to power my fridge and possibly my freezers to keep my food from spoiling. I am doing all kinds of canning and freeze drying and dehydrating and working towards all of the eventualities that, let's be real, we see floating around on the horizon, whether it's the dark toxic clouds that are over Ohio, or if it is the moisture-laden clouds that are attacking California as I make this video right now. They're all going to affect us in one way or another. So the real question is, are you ready? What could you be doing to get ready? Because we always think we have the answer. I changed my diet, I have the answer. I added exercise, I have the answer. I added this supplement, that is the answer. But what is the truth of the situation? The truth of the situation is that things always change and something will always happen. I would love to say I'm an optimist and only good things will ever come. But if I look at it from that perspective, something bad, like my window, is going to happen. How I handle that, and am I prepared to take care of that situation, whatever it is, whether it is an unplanned surgery, if it's an accident, or if it's an illness. What can we do to get ready for those potentials? So that really is where my channel is going. I'm still low carb. My family is still fairly low carb for the most part. My dogs are no longer raw fed. I can't afford to feed them meat anymore, so they had to go to dog food. We've all had to make adjustments and changes in our lives. But what I really want to do is encourage you guys to look at the truth of your situation. If you don't live somewhere that has snow, you don't really need to worry about it. But do you live somewhere that has tornadoes or hurricanes or even earthquakes? I want to encourage you guys to look at your personal situation and try to think about ways that you could affect it if something bad were to happen. I want us to always prepare for the worst and hope for the best, because I think that that is the most realistic way of living out our lives. We're going to do our very best to affect what we can, not be afraid or fearful of what we can't, but find that little nugget that we can latch onto and find our power and grow in that to affect ourselves and even our families. So thank you guys for following along with me on this journey. I'm still going to be here sharing our experiences, sharing our farm, our homestead, and our prepping while still being low carb. But I just kind of wanted to fill you in, to take you back to the beginning, as it were, so that you can see where I've come from and where I'm going, and I hope you guys will follow along. Let me know down below in the comments what you would like to see, what you want to see on my videos, what you'd like to learn about, whether it is something having to do with herbal medicines or the homestead, canning, freeze drying, anything like that. Go ahead and let me know what you're interested in, and I will do my very best to get those to you. I will be working on medicinal herbs and things like that, showing you tinctures, but I have to wait until spring so I can take you guys out with me on my property and we can find those plants, and then I can show you exactly what I'm going to do with them. It's snowing again and sleet and ice. I think spring is going to be a little late this year. So I promise those are coming and I will get to them as fast as I can, Lord and weather permitting. So thank you so much for being with me. I love each and every one of you. I truly do appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for all of us. Please give this video a like and subscribe if you're new here, and share this with anyone who might need to look at the truth of their own situation as well. So I love you guys, and I will see you on the way. Will be oh, my words don't work today. I've been through a lot today. What is that sound? Is that fan?
The air conditioner?
Oh, is it the heater?
Yeah.
Oh well. And I've kind of this meeting start over. Who?
Bella?
Is it Bella?
Said she was gonna go get food.
I know she got an orange.
And more apparently.
Oh, okay. Who? Can you? Are you gonna get something else, my darling?
I don't know what to eat.
Okay. Well, give me a few minutes, okay?
Yeah, we just go watch.
Why don't you just shut the door for me, sweetheart? Thank you. And now I have to stop it and see where I was again. Outside influences, I guess that's kind of the word.
I'd say forces. Forces beyond your control.
There we go. More, there's a word. Confidence, maybe. There we go. We'll go with confidence. That, oh no, I'm a pessimist. I'm a pessimist.